Hello and welcome to the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast. It is Monday, November 21st. In this episode, it's all about the World Cup. It's all about the USA. It's all about England and not that much about the Netherlands and Senegal. But Mike, you're back. Tell us how you felt. We're going to start with the USA. It's only 3 games.
Yeah.
Tell us about the USA.
Oh, I still get shivers down my spine. If you're watching this live, you can see my stupid hat and my stupid scarf. I am back. Crazy, jingoistic, and xenophobic. Mike is out of his cage. And man, did I woke up today like a completely, like I rose from the phoenix of just all the ashes of nonsense and shitty U.S. men's national team years. And it was back to the heyday. I was excited. It was a kid on Christmas morning feeling. I woke up knowing that England was going to beat the piss out of Iran, so I got to kind of enjoy that
good.
as a kind of an appetizer, if you will.
Really
and I
good.
knew that we had a winnable game against a Welsh team, which if you listened last episode, you know that I did not have a lot of optimism.
No.
But I did say that it would be a 1-1 draw. So
Did you? I don't remember.
I did. I don't remember if I said it on the show, but I said it to a bunch of people. Anyway, point being, I all of the pessimism I felt going into this, I really started to think more and more about it, and again, all the nationalistic pride took over, and whether win or lose, I was just excited to have my boys be in the World Cup again. So it was everything I asked for and more. At the end of the day, it felt very familiar. Kind of like a Tottenham match. But yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to start? You want to bang out England, Iran, and then get to the
No. Let's go. Let's do US. I don't think that way is good. I think that what I saw from the US, especially the first half, was the best I'd seen the US play in a long time. I thought they were fantastic. I thought Wales were really passive, and they played with the 3 fast guys, not your boy Kiefer Moore on there. You know, Pulisic was really good. Weah was really good. I think that those pieces were good. Tim Ream and I think Zimmerman, even though later on in the game he is culpable, gives up the penalty. Everything about the U.S. performance in the first half was fantastic. The only downside was I thought the referee, and this wasn't bad, I thought he was fairly consistent. He gave out cards really early. Dest picked one, and McKennie picked up one early. So the game was physical, and I think that there was an attempt by both teams to get each other in trouble. So there was a little bit of edginess. This game was intense. And I think one of the things I forgot about was, having watched the Premier League, and we kind of take it for granted and we kind of wait till later stages, is World Cup games are fucking intense.
Well, there's so much riding on every goal, right?
Everything.
Even to go back to England for a second, like
intense.
When Iran scored to make it 4-1 and then 6-2 late, the refrain was, does that potentially matter? Almost definitely not. But every single goal matters in a 3-game series, if you will, where goal difference is the tiebreaker, right? And so there was just such a scrap. What was weird though,
like watching Senegal and the Netherlands, that didn't have intensity. This Wales USA game had intensity. I think that they were relatively evenly matched, but what I didn't realize as I was watching it was the US is really much more talented than Wales. Wales players were losing the ball. Bale in the first half, he was ineffectual, but anytime he got a touch, he lost it. His passes went away. Guys you'd expect to be good were bad. Like Aaron Ramsey just passed balls out of play. I thought, Harry Wilson, and these are the players that Wales needs to be good. They were poor. I don't even think Daniel James touched the ball.
No, I don't. He probably had a handful of touches. James was invisible. Bale, you could tell, had a hornet's nest around him every time he got close to the ball. Wilson, I thought, was fine. Ramsey was right? But yeah, I mean, it was a tale of 2 halves, and it was more about what the U.S. was doing in the first half than what Wales wasn't doing. It didn't feel like Wales was intentionally playing a counterattacking style. It felt like the U.S. was forcing them into it. Maybe a little bit of both.
But the pace, the ball was popping.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, what? This is like a really shitty version of City, Spur, Arsenal that you could see the patterns. I was like, oh, this looks familiar. They're playing the 2 8s up high. It was nice. Adams was sitting deep. Musa was there with everything looked great. And I was like, holy shit, what version of the U.S. is this? And the goal that came was legit, especially early on. The U.S. had a really good chance early on. with an almost own goal
from
that
Joe
Sargent
Rodon, who
created.
looked terrible. He looked
That
so
Sargent
bad.
created. He was very much a shit Danny Welbeck, where he makes all the runs. He's big and strong, but when he's on the end of something, you're just like, Sargent, you're a ginger. I don't know how you score goals. They need to get like knocked in off your arm or whatever. Yeah. But second half was different. The coach for Wales recognized that this was a shithouse game, recognized that the U.S. had put a lot of effort in, and recognized we're fucking cold country. We're Wales. We're going to kick the shit out of these 5'7", 130-pound players, and we're going to put our battering ram on. And Kiefer Moore completely changed this game.
Yeah. So I think he did. But I also think that Berhalter, we talked about it in our WhatsApp group a lot today.
By the way, WhatsApp
flinched.
Group.
Oh, so much fun. Awesome. We'll put a link in the episode description.
It's already there, my friend. It's
so fun.
I put it in and I took it out. You can get the link to the WhatsApp group from the Facebook group, because if we make it public, we get crypto and whores.
Anyway.
Or crypto whores.
Crypto whores. I think that Berhalter flinched, and the team took that. Personified that in the second half a bit, right?
Took their foot off the gas. It happens.
Well, it's foot up, but again, it's the same way that in the first half that Wales didn't necessarily need or want to play on the back foot, but the U.S. made them. Wales was like, and they the stat was ad nauseum, and you're going to hear it in every first group game now. Is the team who loses the first game is 27% chance. We get it, dude. It's a 3 fucking game tournament. Like, yeah, no, that makes sense, right? So, that was being bludgeoned into everybody, I think. And it just was a way where Wales was like, no, we have to go grab this game now back at some point. And to your point, I didn't think that James was effective at all. I forgot about Brennan Johnson from Nottingham Forest.
He came on late. Really he made a difference. Yeah.
He was really good. He could have he had a shot on goal. He could have had a chance to pop one in.
Well, I mean, Wales I think these teams are evenly matched. The U.S. is probably better technically, but like I said, I could hear that song. I could hear the Wales fans singing that freaking crazy Welsh song. You're like, holy shit, they're there.
Well, and I said it on the preview, right? Like, Gareth Bale is the best player in the game, but I think on average,
he didn't do shit.
No, but on average, I think the U.S. to a man has more quality overall the first 11, right?
And played brave, especially for the youngest team in the tournament, 25 years old on average.
Yeah,
with a 35-year-old center back. By the way, as much as I don't rate Zimmerman and Ream, aside from the penalty, were fucking incredible. Like, they were really good.
Yeah. But so speaking of Zimmerman, and I don't want to slag him for the penalty too much, but it's not necessarily just to him. It's speaking to the depth of the U.S. team, because it's halfway through the second half. A friend of mine goes, well, I feel like for whatever reason at the World Cup, the U.S. team is always just like a step slower or not reactive enough. I go, yeah, because until today, everybody was from MLS, right? You had one or two guys. Yeah. But so this is the deviation where, and I was explaining to somebody earlier this morning where, like, we used to have one or two pretty good players and a bunch of MLS guys. And it's like,
all these guys are legit. Chance. They're good.
All of these guys, and they're not just in Europe. They're not just playing for like, shit teams in the Dutch league anymore. They're playing for Barcelona and Juventus, and they just got bought by Arsenal and Chelsea, right? And PSG. So these are brand name teams, and these players hold their own. I'm not telling you, the listener, anything you don't know. But the problem I still find. By the way,
one piece I want to second half the strength of I didn't like the subs, by the way, at 74.
Well, so that's what I'm getting at is that so the depth of the U.S. team, Kellen Acosta,
he's good.
Yedlin, he's fine, but so the depth is still very much an MLS quality squad, right?
But Yedlin and Acosta are, but Acosta's good. But Haji Wright, by the way, when he came on, he didn't affect the game. I loved Aronson. I love Aronson.
Of course.
He's fantastic. He makes me crazy when he gets on the ball. I'm just like, I love this boy. Please
I don't know.
Continue.
I don't know if you saw any of the post game, but I was. They said the one thing I was screaming at my television pretty much the entire second half. Where is Gio Reyna?
He was hurt.
So, okay, fine. But he was on the bench. So if he's good enough to go for 30, is he? Yeah. I wanted Aronson on. But to bring on Jordan Morris chasing a goal late in the game. Hated that.
Who's it's Jones, right? What was it? What's the first name? The old American midfielder with the German accent.
Jones.
Yeah. When he said at blasting Jordan Morris that he didn't want to go to Europe because he missed his dog and wanted to be home, I lost respect for Jordan Morris forever. Look, that means you don't want to be the best player you can be.
Correct.
And by being that player, I don't want you on my team.
Right. Ever. Yeah, no, God bless you. Have a great career in Seattle, and I don't give a shit about you. But to
and
be
our class, his dad was the fucking doctor for the team. Like,
I know. So to have him come off the bench was just disappointing, knowing that Reyna was there as our last sub. Even Shaquille Moore, I would have taken. So Christian Roldan, like there was players that could have affected the game more than him.
Herrera, give me the Latino who wants to go through a goddamn wall, and I don't mean one built by Donald Trump. I mean the wall of fight.
Well, potentially both, but it was
both walls, under the wall, over the wall.
I felt like Greg Berhalter let us down today. I don't know that I ever had a really strong feeling against him. I know you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan, but I didn't. Manny was just killing him. He kills Berhalter. He's sort of a negative, miserable bastard Liverpool fan, of course.
That's why I like him.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like Berhalter blew this. I mean, I listened to Herc and Seb from ESPN, who are funny because they get so mad, which is fantastic. But Herc was killing Berhalter, and for once, Seb was like, I don't know, like what was he supposed to do? Just keep going attacking? Like, they had already run their race. They had the cards. McKinney's leg was already falling off. He had to come off. Well, that's the other thing.
Destin McKinney had been hurt.
And they just didn't, like, they had a goal. They were sitting back. Riemann Zimmerman had everything buttoned up. And the goal came from something stupid. Like, Zimmerman might not do that for 50 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and if you're right, to your point, if that penalty isn't given and the U.S.
then it's a fantastic performance.
Nobody's talking anything about Berhalter.
About Berhalter. In fact, they'll say, oh, he did a great job managing minutes. He brought on a checking line in 74. Do you know what I mean? Like, the teams, the players stopped fighting. Berhalter's got to really get into them to make them keep attacking. And I thought he was. You could see him being like, come out, go.
But, okay, and to that point, and I'm not going to lay blame at any of the players on the field.
It's a fine draw, by the way.
Christian Pulisic had an unbelievable assist for the goal.
It was great. The finish was
their youth showed twice, in two specific instances, and it was both Pulisic, but it was early in the first half, a number of players. Dest was one of them. Pulisic was one of them, really jawing at the referee. Now, listen. Whether they're right or wrong, I think that they had a legitimate case. I think that they were soft yellows. I think they were too early in the game. And I don't think they were consistent enough on Wales either. But even taking that aside, you're in the World Cup. You're playing Wales. You're not playing the referee. You're playing Wales. Every second that you take to worry about what that idiot ref is doing and what he's fucking you over and what all that stuff is a second you're not worrying about your assignment, right? And so enough.
A great point. Pulisic got in the ref's ear to tell him to calm down.
Yes.
Did you see that? He was like, dude, you can't be giving out all these yellows. This is the World Cup. Take it easy, Papa. Take it easy. Yeah. So, I mean, implications. I want to get to England because we're sort of pressed for time.
Well, real quick, and then the other last thing was, they were starting to break down, and Pulisic again was down in the second half a number of times. He was getting the shit kicked out of him. I understand he's a petite little fella,
shit kicked out of him.
But to sit there on the ground, it gave me Chuck Knobloch vibes.
Like, get up.
Because get up. Dude, we're down. We're up a goal. We're defending like our life depends on it. And you're sitting in the attacking half on your ass, just bitching about they're not going to kick the ball out. Go kick the fucking ball out then. Dude, that's the thing.
I mean, I guess the retort would have been, hey, they did it for Wales.
No. But stop. Don't. This is how you are a middle-class kid from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Just because the kid from Brazil goes, fuck him. I'm going to get up and go fuck him back. Right? Like, go get it. Go be tough. That's the thing that this U.S. team showed me it doesn't have, with the exception, of course, of number 4, Tyler Adams, who was
fucking legend.
He was a Cadillac in midfield today.
I love him.
He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable.
He saved so many attacks where he just came in,
just swallowed it up. And so, I mean, he he was the calming presence in the group. He was able to, when McKinney got that yellow early, you knew his day was going to be short. When Yunus Musa was getting hurt, he was the constant. He reminded me of like Sharundalo going back, right? Like just everybody, just a calming presence.
The other thing that I did worry about for the midfield, when Wales started bypassing the midfield, they didn't, except for Adams, they didn't find a way to affect the game. They just got the ball kicked over them and they were like, I guess we're out of the play. You're like, no, dude, you gotta go back. Yeah. You've got to go kick someone, go fight, go do something, and I thought it was ultimately at the end of the day, it's disappointing, but both teams will be disappointed. Both teams will feel like they didn't play a full game. They kind of were evenly matched, and we move on. We have a 59% chance
I think Wales
of getting
feels
through.
Like they have new life because I think Wales is going to take on Iran next. They're going to win that game, and all likelihood, U.S. loses to England. We go into the final day, and I understand that it doesn't matter that much because then the U.S. will get their shot at Iran, so fine. But we're going to go into that final day. All things likely, Wales
needing
on
to score
4,
goals. Yeah.
Needing to score goals, but Wales on 4, U.S. on 1. Right?
I don't think Wales is particularly better than Iran. Iran's good. They got killed.
Iran. Well, they got steamrolled by the best team in the group, as we said. But Iran can score goals. You're right, and I do think that there will be an interesting. What do they do? I put that in the WhatsApp group. I don't think anybody got back to me yet. But like, what does Wales do? Because they're probably going to need to score, like you said, a few goals against Iran. Because it's likely to come down to the goal difference against England and Iran. Somebody on the preview might have said that. And so, what happens? What do you do? Do you take James off? Do you start with Brendan Johnson? Do you have Kiefer Moore in for 90 minutes, or do you try to use him in a similar way you used him today?
I don't know the answer to that. They have to figure it out.
But also, if you go too far forward, do you get Iran bit England in the ass twice when they switched off? So if every goal truly matters, if you give one up, you have to score 2. So
I'm curious.
They've got an interesting conundrum in their hands.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Whereas the U.S., when I watched the thing that I took away from the England game today was it was waves of enemies for Iran. Poor Iran, right? It was an onslaught in the beginning, and then just when you're like, okay, fine, Saka's going off and Sterling's going off, and here comes Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. Right, Mason Mount's going off, but here comes Callum Wilson came on for Harry Kane, right? So in that moment where if you put the U.S. in that spot, regardless of the score,
we can't.
If it's 1-0, what I saw today, we can't hang with the regular England side, which will wear you down over 90 minutes. Yeah. But if you have fresh reinforcements, Phil Foden coming off the bench, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
are you fucking kidding me? And the one last thing on this game is that U.S. is walking away with, I believe, 3, maybe more. 4 yellow cards because Kellen Acosta got one at the end to stop Bale from that shot. He needed that. That was brilliant.
I mean, if Bale had scored it, he would have been an all-time legend.
There's 3 yellow cards. And I was getting a little cheeky when we were up 1-0, and I said McKinney and Dest at the end of the England game, just hack somebody and get a yellow card so that you missed the Iran game, not the round of 16 game. Now you're going to have to play all your swinging dicks against England. So I don't know. Somebody's going to pick up a second yellow card and miss the Iran game. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but this is going to happen now. So there's a lot of layers to this after just one game.
Yeah. So we go to England. We're probably not going to get to Netherlands, Senegal, just because no time for that.
Netherlands 1-2-0. They don't have Mane anyway. On to the next.
The England game was interesting because I think there's a new dynamic. I think the first thing is they did not play 5 at the back, which was nice. So England had the 2 midfielders in Rice and Bellingham. And Bellingham just is dynamic. He's a different gravy. He can get that transition from attack to defense was fantastic. Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Trippier were the back line, which was
Maguire good?
He was good. He made the line-breaking pass for the first goal, which was really, really nice. He could always do that. He just doesn't. And then the header down to Saka's goal was him as well. So he was good. He contributed on offense. But if you look at the goal that Iran scored, he steps up too far and the guy runs into the space behind him.
Yeah.
So he does. I mean, was he expecting Stones to come behind him? I don't know. The movement was a little bit weird. Their line got disjointed. So could you argue that he made a mistake on the goal? Sure, but he was fine. But England were dynamic. Your boy Kane playing in the number 10 role, frankly, was dynamite.
He and Sterling, there was Raheem Sterling reprising the role of Heung-min Son, right? Like, it was basically Kane dropping deep. Sterling, I said it to my wife when we were watching it, where they had that 1-2 where Sterling went down and then inevitably fucked the chance up, but at the top of the box. But it was one of those where he just pings the ball into Kane right at the halfway line. The defender on the right takes one step in and Sterling is gone, right? And so that's exactly what Sonny and Kane do literally 3 times a game. And so, Kane didn't get a shot on goal. As I said in the WhatsApp group, I had him for 3 shots and a goal. That went tits up pretty early, but he had 2 assists and he set up the 3rd goal. I think one of them too. So
I mean, it was a good team performance. It's the kind of thing that England fans are like, whew, thank God, because they had a poor run. And maybe the narrative shifts into, oh, those games didn't matter. We are a big enough team that now we just needed the juice and the blood of this game to really be the thing, right? So that happens. To be fair to Iran, the goals they gave up were really, really good. Like,
really classy.
Like, Bellingham's header was really good. Saka's was goals. Fantastic. Raheem couldn't do that goal 100 times in a row.
I couldn't do it 5
was good.
times
Rashford's was easier, and Grealish's were easier. Those were like leggy goals, but the expected goals was 2.1, even though England scored 6. So you could get a sense of just like, they scored 6, but they were really good finishes. That Iran can be like, oh, okay, they didn't play as bad as a 6-goal game.
No, they didn't.
But it sounds ridiculous to say that, but that's really where you are. England dominated this game. They get to go and feel good and have the "it's coming home" thing and feel like they're in good shape. The Wales game becomes a blood feud. Will they raise their levels? If Wales play the way they played against the US, England will smash them to pieces.
It'll be, so this game is 3-0 at half. If Wales put in that effort we saw today, it'll also be 3-0 at half, which I would love. So I don't know. But they're going to come out with more juice against the English. But I don't know.
I still don't
Friday.
Trust the English defense in that, it's Maguire, it's Stones, it's Trippier and Shaw. Stones and Maguire are they're 2 betas ultimately in defense. You don't get the sense that one of them is going to yell at the other one and take charge. Now, granted, they're at the level of like the highest levels of betas, right? They're just nobody's Vincent Kompany. There's no John Terry. There's nobody there who's a real leader, even though Maguire is the captain of Man United, which is ridiculous. He should never have been.
I mean, that's a different thing. But
there's not even there's no Jordan Henderson in the group, right? Even though he's on the team, or Connor Cody. These are talkers. These are leaders. Between Stones and Maguire, they're both kind of like, they know each other, but they're passive. They're not gonna get in someone's face.
When things are frenetic, when things are in the shit, and it goes out for a corner kick and you have to defend it, and somebody goes, "You over there." What that allows is just everybody else who is the beta then goes, right, okay, shit. That's
they do it, but I don't think they're like super. Like, I think Tyler was doing and McKennie did that all game. They really fought. Now we're nitpicking on a great England performance, but
of course,
the question I have for the US against Maguire and Stones is, can they hurt them? Like, their weaknesses are there, but does the US have the talent in attack to make those weaknesses show up?
I'll tell you what, Josh Sargent and fucking Jordan Morris don't.
No.
But my question is, if he was good enough to go on the bench today, do we see Gio Reyna in some capacity on Friday? And also, does Brendan Aronson start? Now, that's not fair, because when the lineup came out, I said I would not have started Weah. I would have gone Aronson. Hey, fantastic finish on that goal. I think that gets very underrated because of
it was outside of the boot with power. It was really good.
Classy, really classy finish.
Really good.
And through the keeper, right? So it wasn't necessarily like he went around him. So fine.
But the thing is, the U.S. will have to play different
to be involved.
Oh my!
How do you mean?
They'll have to play different because they had the ball this game. Against England, they won't have the ball.
Yes.
I
Right.
gotta go.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll,
So yeah, I mean, look, that's going to be it. I mean, not a whole lot of action. We'll get into what the calamity and the nonsense of what the Qatar World Cup has been. It's been a disaster so far, predictably.
I don't think so.
Almost.
They're Muslim from the 4th century. Why are you trying to bring them to
on
the 20th
ground itself,
century?
there's been problems with people getting tickets.
Okay.
There's been nobody there. There are people chanting, "We want beer." It's a shit show. But we knew it was going to be a shit show. But we've got Poland, Argentina, France, Denmark, Germany,
pick it all up
Costa
on
Rica,
Thursday.
Spain, Belgium, all of these countries are in action. We will come back to you probably on Thanksgiving night to get you ready for the American Revolution Part 3.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe Part 4.
We'll pick it up later. That was the Squeaky Fun Time podcast with Mike and Laurent. We are the football wing of the Chop Sports Network. We record on Tuesdays and Fridays, so be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Please find us on the Facebook group and find the WhatsApp link there, and you can enjoy time with us and fight with Manny and the gang.
Oh, it is so hot in Florida with a hat and a scarf on, but I'm doing it for you boys. I love you.